Good morning, my African brothers and sisters. This morning, this message is for every African youth. If you're between the age of 18 to 35, this message is for you. First of all, before I get into my message, let me just make it clear that my name is Ibrahim Fona. I am a Sierra Leonean. I was born in Sierra Leone, born and raised in Sierra Leone, and currently I live in the United States for the past 10 years. Normally, the reason why I've had to explain that I'm going to speak this in English is because currently we're having a political campaign. Elections in Sierra Leone is next year, March 2018. So I've been doing a lot of videos, but I've been using a local dialects, Creole, Patois. So since this message is for every young African, I wish I could speak French. I could have translated that into French too, but I don't. So I'm looking for folks out there after I'm done with this message. If you feel like you want to translate it into your local language, French, especially French, because there's a lot of other French-speaking African countries, I would truly appreciate that. The reason why I want to do this message this morning is I don't care if you're from Ghana, Nigeria, Guinea, Gambia, Togo, Gabon, South Africa, Lesotho, Rwanda, Burundi, any African country that you are, whatever African country that you live in, as long as you're an African, you're between the age of 18 and 35, this message is for you. You see, Ghanaians are very lucky right now because they have a champion that is fighting for the poor people. So I want to first of all, say thanks to the Ghanaian president, because I listened to your video the other day. And if we can have every other African leader in Africa to think the way you're thinking, Africa is going to be a paradise pretty shortly. So the reason why I want to talk to Africans is this. Like I said, I don't care what country you are. As long as you're an African, this message is for you. I want you to listen to this one. It is time us as young Africans step up and take over our countries. Again, it is time young Africans, like myself, we step up and take over our countries. Because in about 20 to 30 years from now, it is our generation that will be in power. And so, whatever direction we want Africa to go, the preparation starts now. We have to start preparing now. So my call to all young Africans, you don't need to have a doctorate degree or a master's of this or that. As long as you're educated and you can articulate your views properly and well to your people. And not only that, but as long as you have passion, you have the desire to help your people, to bring Africans out of poverty. If you believe that it's high time we get our people out of the slums in Africa, no Africans should be living in slums anymore. This is a call to you. If you have that passion, let us start forming our movements in our African countries, young people. Peacefully, quietly, and professionally. Elections are coming pretty shortly. Every other year, an African country is going to have an election. The youth, you guys are the powerhouse of those countries. The politicians need you. Sorry to say this, some of these politicians are very crooked. Not all of them. But most of African presidents and African leaders are very corrupted and crooked. All they care about is themselves, their pockets, and their families. It's time that you guys take over your countries. Form movements. In Sierra Leone, for example, which is what I want to give you guys as an example, we have the KKY movement. This is a movement that we have a political party called the NGC, a National Grand Coalition. KKY movement means Kande Kole Yumkela, because we have one of our leader, the leader of the party right now that's going to contest the presidential elections in March 2018, who is Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela, former Director General for UNIDO, United Nations Industrial Development Organization. You know, he has a polished career. So we need people like those. You don't have to have a polished career like Dr. Yumkela, but as long as you've done something for your community, we want you guys to stand up. Form your movements. Form your movements. Call it whatever you want to call it, but let it be a movement of the youth. You want transformation. You want change. You want opportunity. And you can do it for yourselves. This is a call for all Africans, young, between the ages of 18 and 35. Step up. Plan for the next elections coming in your country. You know the dates. Start those movements. Guys, support each other. You guys support each other. We have to take Africa out of its misery. Look at our brothers dying to seek opportunities elsewhere. Look at Cameroonians dying. Nigerians are dying. Sierra Leoneans are dying. Crossing the Sahara Desert. Going into Libya. They're being abused and misused. Our educational systems for most African countries are down the drains. In this 21st century, our kids still have to walk barefooted going to school. Let us wake up, young Africans. This is my call to you all. Let us wake up. Every country, wherever you are, I don't care what country you are, as long as it's in Africa, step up and form a movement. Let it be the movement of the youth. You'll be surprised, man. You guys will win elections. You can take over your countries. Stop being bought with little change by these politicians. Election time comes around, they give you a little bit of money. And after that, they forget about you. Countries like Equatorial Guinea. Look, that country is a very rich country. But look at the people, the life they're living. Whilst the leaders are flaunting millions of dollars overseas, riding all the most expensive cars. People in that country need to step up. I know these people are dictators. But the international community is watching. They're not going to do anything. If they do, they'll pay for it. That's why we have the International Criminal Court in The Hague, Netherlands. If you're a dictator, you'll be tried and you'll be prosecuted. You're not going to get away with it. African leaders, stop this greed. Stop this self. It's all about yourself. You're destroying Africa. But that's why I'm calling on you guys. Follow my movement. It's called Young Africans for Change. Young Africans for Change. That's my movement. I want you to follow it. Every country, I'm calling on the young people. Let us take over Africa and save our people. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We have the manpower. We have the skills. We have the energy to do it. Believe in yourselves. Stand up for parliamentary elections. Stand up for your local elections. Stand up for presidential elections. All young Africans. The time is now. Let's take over Africa. Let's save our continent. Let's save our brothers and sisters. Let's bring back education. Let's bring standards. Life is good for some of us overseas, but let's not forget the fact that we were born in those countries. Go back and take care of your people. That is my call to you all. So again, my name is Ibrahim. Follow my movements. Young Africans for Change and Transformation. Young Africans for Change and Transformation. Thank you.